Today I've got 10 unusual at-home drills you can do just sitting in a chair, on the couch, whatever, to help you master 10 unusual shots that some of the best scorers to ever play the game have used. Now these are different forms of jump shots that you may have seen guys like Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant use. These drills are specific to help you with that. And these are really gonna help give you new scoring options, especially in that mid-range area on in. But as you get more advanced, you might be able to pull these out even a little bit further. So the first thing that you need to understand is that we have got to be super comfortable and consistent with where we get our shot off from this point right here and onward. We want to be absolutely pristine, crisp, perfect at that point forward, and that we can get to that spot and get it exactly the same every single time. The reason that's so important is because that's gonna be where we're gonna finish pretty much all of our shots, and so we can get that consistent release. Now what the best scorers are really, really good at is being able to take the basketball and get it to this position from different positions. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about as we go through these drills. So the first drill, all we're gonna do is take the basketball from far to your shooting side. So I'm a lefty, so I'm gonna show you on the left side. If you're ready, just do this from the right side. And all you're gonna do is bring it from here right over to that shooting position and go into your regular like form shooting. You gotta make sure your normal fundamental shot is solid before you ever think about going into this. And I'd say about 15 feet and in is more of an ideal range to do this. I wouldn't recommend this from the 3-point line unless you're like a really good 3-point shooter. When we go from this right into this, we're not bringing it down here. We're bringing it from here directly over. That's number one. So we're working on that specific shot. So maybe you're sizing a defender up and you got them leaning down a little, and then boom, you could just rise up in that shot from that position before they can react. The other thing we want to pay attention to though is that we're making that shot. So how you can make sure you're gonna be as close as possible when you get to the gym to doing that is when you release the basketball, you want to make sure that you're getting good backspin, not any side spin. Because as you're coming from these positions, you could start doing some wonky things with that shooting hand, maybe coming off the fingers, the guide hand could get involved, right? Coming off the pinky finger on the release, all kinds of little issues could happen. And then number two, you wanna make sure that that shot is landing right back down in front of you, right into your lap. If it's not, if it's coming way out here, or way out here, or way out here, then you know you've gotta bring things back in and dial them in. The video that I'll have for you at the end will really help with that side of things. Coming from the shooting side, going right up into that release. Shooting side, right up into that release. And what you can do is try to work on speeding that shot up. Try to not just come here and get into that release, going real slow, or coming here and then taking your time setting up, because that might give your defender time to get back in front of you. The idea is to come from here and go smoothly right up into that release. That's something that elite scorers are really good at. Then the next thing we're gonna do is come from our non-shooting side and do the same thing. Now, since we gotta bring it all the way over here, that's gonna change things a little bit, right? So it seems like a very similar drill, but I'm just pulling it from here to here. If I'm coming from here, now I'm pulling it all the way here, right? So bringing it from your non-shooting side, and then from there, the same things you'll wanna pay attention to. The biggest thing I can give you is make sure once you get here that you're getting that hand under the basketball, just like this. Boom, and then go right into that, right? If you're doing that, you should be solid. So that looks something like this. And one thing to notice is I don't really get a lot of load up, right? Since I'm not bringing the ball here, I don't really get to load up into my arm swing into the shot. So a lot of your power on these shots has to come from that elbow extension, not so much with the shoulder anymore, elbow extension, and then the wrist. And then when you get into the gym, you gotta get those legs involved. Okay, next drill, we're gonna add something really different. This is good for like if you got a defender that's kind of playing you tight and maybe you want to, give them a quick like lean in like this to get them to move back, to make them think you're gonna drive. And when you get them moving back, if you can from there immediately rise up in your shot, guys like Kobe and Jordan would do this often, Kevin Durant does it sometimes. If you can rise up into that shot, now you're gonna be able to get a lot of those good scoring opportunities if you've mastered the shot. So you gotta be able to get it off quick. So all we're going to do is twist our body down. So think about trying to get your right shoulder to your left hip for the first one if you're a lefty. If you're a righty, you'd want to go left shoulder to right hip, okay? Bringing it down here like this, and then from there, rising right up into the shot. So I'm a lefty, so it looks something like this. Boom, rising right up into that shot. Rising right up into that shot. Not an easy shot. One thing you'll want to do is as you're starting to come up, you immediately want to get your eyes up. So when you get to the gym and you start working on this shot, you get in the habit of looking up as quick as you can so you can start targeting that rim. Next, you could probably guess what we're gonna do. We're gonna twist the other way. So this one's gonna be extra hard, really, really hard shot. For me, I'm a lefty, I'd be coming to the right side. I'd be twisting to the right side, so the non-shooting hand side, boom, rising up. Rising up. Now, why is this so hard? Well, look what's happening here. Look where my hand position is. This is my shooting hand. So that means I gotta rotate it and get it behind the basketball right from that. So in a game, it would look something like this, right? I would dip this way to get my defender to jump back that way a little bit, freeing up all this space over here. I gotta move him back this way. I'm creating space both this way for myself and to this side for myself as they're going that way. So boom, I can get up into that pocket. Okay, next two drills are gonna be another way of twisting, but we're not gonna twist down. We're gonna twist so we're basically facing the opposite direction that we're gonna end up shooting. This will help develop a couple different things. Number one, sometimes in game situations in that 15-foot range, you can kind of get out of your perfect shooting form if you're a great scorer and you already got your regular shot down by maybe jumping from an unorthodox leg position and squaring up in the air. And this will also help with like turnaround shots and things like that, or coming from a pivot forward and quickly locking in to get your shot off, getting your mechanics consistent and right. So we're simply gonna twist one way, that's one drill, and then we're gonna twist the other way, that's the other drill. Biggest thing is making sure we're coming from this and immediately trying to get our eyes forward and making sure that we're as quickly as possible getting up into the shooting position. So from here, rising up. Again, we're not bringing it to the shot pocket. We're coming from this, boom, rising right up into our set point. Same over here, rising right into that set point. So that would look something like this. And then the next four drills I'll be able to rip out for you really quick here. They all tie in with each other. And then I'll give you the other video with the sequence you should make sure you master before you jump into these, as well as one other tip that will help you instantly make more shots in games. And actually that same video, I'm gonna have some drills for you that will help you master that one tip. Literally, I give players this tip and they go from missing shots, missing shots, missing shots to boom, making. So these last four are simply gonna be to go from a lean, okay? Lean this way, lean back, and lean forward. Now the reason we would wanna work on these is so we're working on sort of that fadeaway shot. Now when you do the directly back, you wanna come more to the edge of your chair so you got a little more space to work with. Big things we wanna make sure we're paying attention to is that we get a good release, good backspin, but mainly that the basketball is coming straight down. Because what you might have a tendency to do is as you're leaning this way, the shot might veer this way. We gotta work on counterbalancing that shot. So you might need to think about releasing. Notice how my arm extends here versus normally it would be right in line with my body. Now I gotta kind of release it out here. That's why it's really important that you make sure you got your regular shot down before you jump into this, because working on this could mess up your regular shot. If you're shooting and you're releasing like this, that's a problem, because now you're gonna have to turn your entire body and you get a really wonky form, and it's gonna be hard to ever try to shoot from this side, right, if you're turning. So that's why you gotta get this part here right. You gotta make sure you got your regular shot right. And then same thing, is if I'm leaning this way, I'm gonna need to release further this way, right? If I shoot, I don't wanna be like this. Leaning back, I'm gonna have to go more forward, right? But if I was normally upright, see where my arm would be? I'd be doing a pass. If I'm leaning forward, I'm gonna need to shoot up a little bit more to get more of that arc. And if you'll notice when I do that, well, that puts my shooting release almost behind my head, and I'm not gonna get the shot very far forward. But when we're doing these drills, we have to kind of practice some of those quote unquote bad habits. And that's why it's really important to understand that these are all shots that are specific for very specific game situations. They're not your quote unquote shot. They're your scoring moves. Think about these as being almost more like a layup. And that's why I recommend you work on them from that mid-range in. So quick look at fading this way, straight up and down, fading this way, pretty much straight up and down, fading back, and fading forward. I would recommend getting about 10 to 20 repetitions of every one of these. If you want to get more work in, you can. But if anything, I would recommend you get some work in on the drills in this video. Those are the ones that'll make sure you're getting that consistent shooting form from this point forward. And this is the video that's gonna help you instantly make more shots in games. There's already thousands of players that have watched that video, and a lot of players I've trained with in person, and I know it'll help you too. Subscribe, turn on all notifications to catch the newest videos, leave me a comment, let me know which one of these drills is your favorite, and I'll see you in one of these videos next.